What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to discuss the 5 tips for new Scrum Master. If you are a new Scrum Master and you just joined your job, these are the 5 things that you must keep in mind to become a successful Scrum Master at your job. Doing these 5 things will ensure that you do your job and you do a great job at doing your job. These 5 tips will make sure that you stand out among other Scrum Masters, your fellow Scrum Masters who might have more experience than you, who might be in that company for a longer time, and who might be more smarter than you in technology and practices. Doing these 5 things will help you do all of those things. So listen closely and listen carefully. Now, these are the 5 things that a new Scrum Master must do when he joins a new company, he or she joins a new company. The first thing is, when you join, this should be your first 3 months or 1 month plan when you join a new company. And not only that, this question can be asked in many interviews. What will you do? What will be your first 3 months plan when you join a new company? What will be your first 1 month plan when you join a new company? So the first thing that you must do when you join a new company is identify who is who in the company. Identifying who is who in the team will not only give you an idea who the product owner is, who the tech lead is, who the senior developer, junior developer, tester, designer, who is who in the team, right? Who is the architect, who is the cloud engineer, who is the data analyst, who is who in the team will give you an idea of how to deal with different personalities, how to deal with different people, how to deal with different roles as per their responsibilities. So once you find out who is the product owner, these are the most important: finding out who is your product owner, finding out who is the tech lead, finding out who is the senior developer, finding out who is the designer, what the composition and the structure of the team is. That should be your first step, and have it written down on a piece of paper, or or on a piece of notepad, where you can see, okay, this person is a product owner, this person is this person is this. That should be your first step when you join any team whatsoever. Once you have identified who is who in the team, what roles they play, what responsibilities they have, and what their capacity within the team is. Like, some person he's working in only one team, so he has 50% capacity with your team, or some person he's working in a different team and they have shared responsibilities with your team. So once you have a written document in a notepad or an Excel sheet where you write the name of the person. First person is John, second person is Shelly, third person is Ramesh, fourth person is Naveed. Once you have written down their names and you have written down their roles in the teams, then you will write down their capacity, what capacity they are working in your team. And then on a fourth note, you will write down their responsibilities. What responsibilities are they serving in the team currently? That should be your first step, and you should keep that document handy as long as you are working for that team or for that organization. The second thing that you will do when you join a new company is join the community of fellow Scrum Master. When you are working in a multiple team environment, or in a release train, or in a big organization, generally you will have multiple teams with multiple Scrum Masters, multiple product owners. So your second goal should be to join that community. Generally, 95% of the time, in my experience, I have seen that generally Scrum Masters, they will have Scrum of Scrums, or they will have a WhatsApp group, they will have some Slack group that's generally only for the Scrum Masters to ask their questions. So the second thing that you should do is join the community of fellow Scrum Masters. What that will give you an idea of is that when you have trouble or when you have a question, you can go in that community, you can go in that group, and you can ask them that question. You can ask, for example, let's say, most of the time when you're working in a multiple team environment, you will have dependencies on a fellow team, you will have dependencies on a parallel team, right? And to resolve those dependencies, you have to communicate with that Scrum Master from other team. And what generally happens is that Scrum Masters, they have their own workload, they have their own team responsibilities, the team already has their scope, so it can be sometimes harder for them to kind of adjust their workload, their scope based on your dependency. And generally, if it's critical for you, you have to have a good relationship with that Scrum Master to make sure that they take your dependency on them seriously, and they insert it into their current scope, into their current workload, so that it gets done. So that's very important. So having that good relationship with your fellow Scrum Masters is super important as a good Scrum Master. Okay, so make sure you join that community, make sure you join that Scrum of Scrum, make sure you join that meeting, team build up events, or whatever the norm of the team is, make sure you join those and build that personal relationship with the senior scrum master, with the agile coach, with the fellow scrum masters, and make sure you get to know them on a personal basis, so that if you need help with something, if you need help with a dependency, or if you need help with something in the team, they are there for you. And you might need to cozy up to them, or be a little nice to them, or whatever you have to do, right? But make sure you're part of that scrum master community, okay, part of that agile coach community, part of that product owner community, okay. Generally what I do is I link up with the product owner community, I link up with the scrum master, I link up with the stakeholders, I become a part of every group, every meeting I can, so that I know who is who and I have a good relationship with the people, right? It's all a relationship business. Being a scrum master is 90% good relationships. If you have good relationship, you will be great in your role, okay. So it does involve a little bit of bureaucracy, a little bit of politics, a little bit of being nice, and a little bit of that, but if you can do that, you will do great at your role. So go ahead. If you are a new Scrum Master, join that community, join the Scrum of Scrum, join those meetings, join those meetings that you don't like to join, and link up with the fellow Scrum Masters, fellow product owners, fellow stakeholders, and that will strengthen your position in your current role. Okay, and the more they can see you, the more they will be familiar with you, the more they will be comfortable with you, and the more your opportunities to grow, to become better in the company, to get a higher role, get promoted, or things like that will come up as well. So first step, identify who is who in the company, identify who is who in the team, identify who is who, and build that Excel sheet where you have their names along with their roles, along with their capacity, along with their responsibilities in your team, and how they might help you. Second thing, join the community of fellow Scrum Masters. Whoever is a Scrum Master in the different team that you might have a dependency with, or just in general that different group, join that community. Okay. Third step is build a working agreement with your fellow team members. Now, what I mean by a working agreement is set the expectations clear. Okay. Let's say you're working with a product owner, right? And the product owner may introduce scope creep from time to time while the sprint is ongoing, and that goes against your Scrum process, that goes against the agile process, right? And once a sprint is locked and you have a fixed workload, if it's a very high priority, you have to take something out. So that's not ideal, right? That you keep dumping work in the sprint, and because that will decrease your velocity, that will push the sprint goals further and further. So it's super important to not have those things. And so that conversation with the product owner in the beginning of the project, setting that working agreement, these are the expectations you can expect from me, and these are the expectations I can expect from you. And once you have already set that bar high, that will make life a lot easier for you going forward, and have that with the product owner. Product owner, you have to have it 100%, no matter what team you go to. 100% with the product owner, you have to have that working agreement when you start the project, right? You have to have it with the tech lead, you have to have the senior developer, the junior developer, the tester. You have to have that working agreement. Okay, and I put it on third number because first you will identify who is who. Once you have that identification, the responsibilities, how they serve your team, then you will join the community. And then once you have an understanding of how the teams work, how the company works, or overall how their communication flows with each other, how they do different things in that company, then you will build that working agreement with them, where you can solidify your expectations with them and their expectations with you, and that will make your life a whole lot easier going forward, right? So that working agreement is super critical for your success as a Scrum Master, because that working agreement will already set the bar high for the conversations down the line, or the conflicts down the line, because you can always refer back to the working agreement. This is what we promised on, this is what we discussed during the start of the project, and now you have to be clear and concise about those working agreements. Okay, and if you need help with the working agreement, if you need help with how to join the fellow Scrum Masters community, if you need help with identifying who is who and how to create that Excel worksheet, leave me a comment down below, or reach out to me through email. And you can even get the capacity tracker, which you can use to track capacity of all your team members. Leave me an email and I will be happy to give that to you. Okay, now once you have done all of these things, right, you have identified who is who in the team, who is a stakeholder, who is the product owner, who is the senior developer, who is the tester, who is the designer, who is the architect. Once you have identified all that information and how it relates to you, you have that understanding in your brain, then you have joined the community of fellow Scrum Masters, so that in case what they are discussing, how things are going, you can get that idea and you can use their help. If you run into challenges with your team, you can always bring it up there. Or if you run into challenges with resolving dependencies with your fellow Scrum Masters, sometimes you can discuss it there as well. Hey, I'm having this challenge with my fellow Scrum Master. I need to get this resolved. This is super critical for me, but my fellow Scrum Master is already running a tight ship and he's unable to add these things to his backlog. What should I do? Please suggest some steps I can take to resolve this issue, right? Those are also some things that you can do in your fellow Scrum Master group. Those are also some problems that you can resolve in your fellow Scrum Master group. And this can also be a question asked. Hey, how do you resolve problems? What kind of challenges have you faced with your teammates, with your fellow Scrum Masters? How do you resolve those conflicts? And you can say, hey, in one of my roles, one of my Scrum Masters, fellow Scrum Masters, I had a dependency on their team, and the dependency needed to be resolved for us to move further. And the fellow Scrum Master denied to put that dependency in their scope because they were running a tight ship. So in that case, what I did was I reached out to the group of fellow Scrum Masters. That we have a group in our company where we all Scrum Masters reach out to each other, and I reached out in that group with the fellow Scrum Masters, and I brought up this problem with them, and they were able to help me resolve it. They were able to suggest me some steps to do, and which also kind of put a little bit pressure on the fellow Scrum Master, and he was able to insert that scope in his sprint, right? So that is also one tactic you can use. If you are a new Scrum Master, you can add that to your playlist, and you can use that tactic when you're working in a new company or a new team. You can use this tactic to pressurize your fellow Scrum Masters and get work done that way, right? Now, the third thing is having a working agreement. This is super critical, right? This is super critical. Having a working agreement will serve you greatly, right? For example, let's say you want to buy a property, you want to buy a multifamily property or a single family house. You have a working agreement, right? You have a contract. You know how things will go and how much money you will pay and things like that, right? Same thing here. Having that working agreement will serve you long term. It will set the bar for the conversations long term and help you resolve problems more efficiently down the line, right? So having that working agreement is super critical. Always remember that. Now, the fourth thing that you will do when you join a new team is, right, identify the stakeholders or your clients or your product, right? So, for example, if I do not know a product, right, I won't buy it. Okay. Or in other words, if I do not know who my customer is, how can I sell, right? Let's say I'm trying to sell you a pen, right? I don't know you. I don't know if you want a pen or not, but I'm just trying to sell you a pen, right? How can I do that? It's not possible, right? So you have to know who your client is, who your stakeholder is, right? And have that relationship with them. Don't go after building a working agreement with your stakeholder or your client, because that will be rude. That will be considered rude. And that might even go against the contract problems, right? So having a good idea of who you report to, who your boss is, who your stakeholder is, who your client is, right, will serve you greatly. Now, how you identify that is through talking to fellow Scrum Masters, through talking to people in your team, right? Once you have identified who you are reporting to, who is the boss, who is the client, who is the stakeholder, who is the customer, right? Based on that, you can, identify how your relationship is going to work with them. Because if your company has a contract with that, and then there is that contractual relationship, then you might not want to do too much in that relationship, right? You just might want to just keep a good cordial working relationship and get it done that way. But in some roles, you might be required to build that relationship further so that you can bring in more business, right? You might be required to do that as a project manager or as a senior Scrum Master in some roles, right? I've seen that happen in many, many roles. So identify that person, identify that team who you need to have that relationship with, and build that relationship by being professional, being cordial, listening to them when they have requirements, having that even going out for a coffee with him or her, or whoever the team is, taking them out for lunch or going out for lunch to build that relationship further, because it will strengthen your position as a scrum master. The better the relationship is with you as compared to other scrum masters, the better the relationship with you is, it will help you move ahead as a scrum master. If you have a strong relationship with them, if they know you on a no name by name basis. So having that relationship with your stakeholder, your client, your customer, your boss, your CEO, or whoever you report to is super critical for a scrum master. Okay, because in many organizations you will see that when the layoffs start happening, scrum master will be the first role. Generally they will lay off, because of many organizations they don't see that much value in that role. This role is very valuable. Let me tell you, scrum master role is more valuable even than a product owner or a developer, because this is the role that keeps the team together, right? That keeps the team together, that gives profit to the business, that manages whatever that is going on, right? So this role is super important. Not important than a developer, I'll take that back, but this role is super important, super valuable for the team and for the company. But some companies, they don't recognize that, they don't identify that, they don't think in those terms, because they're new to agile, or they might be ignorant towards agile process and scrum process. So if you have that working relationship, that good relationship with your client, where they can see the value that you bring to the table, that will make you stronger in your position, right? That will make you a strong scrum master, where if they think about laying people off, your name will not pop up, because they already know how valuable you are and how good you are with them. So that will help you in surviving that time, and that will help you in a lot of other ways. You will find when you start working as a scrum master, you will find that that relationship is the most valuable relationship. Okay, so now we have discussed four things, right? Identify who is who in the team, build an Excel sheet where their names, with their capacity, what their role is, how they serve you, how they serve your team, and how their role plays as pertaining to your role, right? How it goes, how your working relationship with them will work like, right? Then join the community of fellow Scrum Masters. That is super important. Then write down a working agreement with the product owner, with the development team, with the tech lead, with the junior tester, senior tester, everyone. Have a working agreement with them. If not a written down document, have a formal verbal written agreement, have a formal verbal agreement with them, right? Where you agree, or these are going to be the ground rules of our relationship. Then have a good relationship with the stakeholders, with the client, with the business owner, with the CEO, with the product officer, or whoever, technology officer, whoever you are reporting to, whoever is your customer, right? Whoever you need to impress, right? That's the person you need to have the strongest relationship with. Okay, so far you must have seen that everything is about relationships. Scrum Master is a management role. Okay, it's not a technical role. You don't need to know technology. You need to know relationship building. You need to know relationship management. You need to know conflict resolution. You need to know sales. You need to know all these things on how to deal with people from different backgrounds, from different cultures, from different ethnicities, from different skill sets, from different roles in life, and different age in life, and different experiences. You need to know this to become a great Scrum Master. Relationship management, relationship building is super critical to be a great Scrum Master. Okay, so keep that in mind and work on those skills and work with those people, and build those relationships, and it will help you long term a lot. Mark my words. Okay, I've been in this industry long enough to know these things. I've been in this industry long enough, and I've seen a lot of people in all walks of life. I've dealt with a lot of people, right, in all walks of life, in USA, in India, in Germany, in Serbia, in all across the world. I have dealt with teams and people, and I know that relationship building will help you survive this industry, and during the Great Depression or during the Great Boom, whatever is going on. If you have these basics, you will be the best Scrum Master your company will have. And this channel right here, and this video right here should be your Bible. Watch this video over and over again if you forget these basics. Okay, these are the 5 basics that you must jot down to become a great Scrum Master in your company. This should be your Bible. Now, moving on to the next point. Identify the tools. Okay, identify the tools. By what I mean by identifying the tools is like you need to know what tools your company is using for Scrum Masters. Okay, it can be Jira. Okay, let me write it down right here. It can be Jira. Okay, if your company is using Jira, you need to know Jira inside out. Okay, and we will post tutorials on this channel about Jira. We will make a 3 hour, 4 hour long video, and we will show Jira from one step to another for a Scrum Master, right? Or a product owner if you are a product owner. Identify Jira. If Jira is your tool that you are using, or some companies even use ClickUp, right? Some companies even use ClickUp. Some companies use Azure DevOps. Okay, some companies even, I have seen a lot of companies use version 1, Rally, So all these tools, whichever tool your company is using, whether it is Jira, whether it is ClickUp, Azure DevOps, whichever tool your company is using, right? You need to know it inside out, how to use it, how to create a backlog, how to run the sprint, how to have that swim lanes in a sprint, how to add people to the sprint, how to create epics, how to create stories, how to create features, how to create dependencies, how to add dependencies, how to add different people to different dependencies. You need to know this inside out. Okay, having the knowledge of tools is super important to become a great Scrum Master, a great Agile coach, a great product owner, or a great product officer. Okay, having the knowledge of these tools will serve you very, very well, and this will be the backbone of what you do. Okay, having the knowledge of these tools inside out. Not only you should know these tools, you should also be able to teach these tools to new team members. Because when new people join your organization, you are the first person they will come to or to understand these tools. Okay? And make sure you are the person that they come to, not other Scrum Masters, not other Agile coaches. Even the Agile coaches should come to you to understand these tools. Okay? You do this, you will be irreplaceable in that company. Even if they don't need Scrum Masters, they will keep you, they will pay you because you have a handle on these tools. And these tools are the backbone of any company, right? So having the knowledge of your project management tool, whether it is Jira or ClickUp, having the knowledge of your CRM tool, if you are using a CRM, right? Having the knowledge of that tool as well. CRM tool. Having the knowledge of your CRM tool, whichever CRM tool your team is using, SAP or Salesforce, whichever CRM tool your company is using, having the knowledge of that is also super critical. And by knowledge, I don't mean have technical skill. By knowledge, I mean you should know how to navigate it, how to create new users, how to create new stuff in that board, in that tool. Okay. And other thing that you need to understand is that as a Scrum Master, not only Jira and ClickUp and Azure DevOps and CRM tool, but you also need to understand the documentation tool. Because as a Scrum Master, you will be storing and saving documents for your team. By documents, I mean the risk log. By documents, I mean the sprint report. By documents, I mean the sprint burn down chart report. All these reports you will be saving in a board, in a documentation saving tool. And that documentation saving tool could be, Confluence. Confluence is a very important tool that is used alongside Jira. So Jira and Confluence are like husband and wife. They work together very, very well. They are like two spokes of a bicycle. Jira will be used for project management and the swim lanes and the backlog and all that stuff. But Confluence will be used for documentation, storing documentation and working with different tools there. So, that is super important. The other tool, I will make a separate video on these tools as well, which tools you should use. It can be a 20-minute video in itself, right? The other tool that you need to understand is, it just slipped my mind. So Jira is one tool, Confluence, yes, Miro boards or mural boards, whichever one you use, right? That Miro board can help you a lot. Let's say if you're a new Scrum Master and you don't know how to conduct retrospective, simple. Know the Miro board or the mural board. It's free to use. You can even use it right now. You can create, different columns or different, product. I even create product roadmaps in a Miro board and mural boards. Currently, I'm using Miro boards to create product roadmaps. So I collect requirements from the business and I create a product roadmap and I work with the technical team, the design team, and they give their feedback there. And once I have enough feedback from them, I will chisel it down into technical requirements and give it to my team and, do the sprint process and everything. So I overlook that whole thing. I'm basically the product officer currently. So Having that understanding of Miro board and mural board will serve you greatly. Okay, have that understanding of that Miro board and mural board. You can do your retrospectives there, you can create a product roadmap there, you can even create your personal goals as a visual in those boards. So those boards are super super important. I'll write it down right here. Having understanding of Miro board and mural board. Okay, I'll write it down right here. Okay, having that understanding of Miro board and mural board will serve you greatly. Okay, so now having a great understanding of Jira, ClickUp, or any project management tool your team uses will serve you greatly. Having understanding of CRM tool that your team uses will serve you greatly. Having understanding of Confluence will serve you greatly. Having understanding of Miro board, Mural board or Miro board will serve you greatly. Okay, having the understanding of these tools will be your secret weapon. You should not only know these tools by hand, you should be able to teach these tools to your senior management, to your fellow team people, to your peers, to your scrum masters. When they think of this tool, they should think of you. And that's how you become irreplaceable as a scrum master in any company. Not only irreplaceable, you become the top dog in your scrum master team among your fellow scrum masters. This video should be your Bible. If you watch this video and you understand what I'm talking about, you have worked in the industry for some time, you know if you do these 5 things, you will be the top dog. Not only as a scrum master, as a product owner, as a chief product officer, as an agile coach, you can use these techniques and you can become the top dog in your company. And I promise you that. Thank you so much for watching. If you are looking for consultation, click on the link down below and I will set up a one-on-one consultation with you. I will help you with your job search, with your resume prep, interview prep, on-job help, everything. I cover everything. Okay. If you want a one-on-one consultation with me and you're looking for a job, or you're someone who already has a job but want to do great at your job, click on the link down below. I'm the only person who can help you, and I'm the best person who can help you. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Adios.